Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Weekly Analysis. In this video, we'll take a look how was the last week for NVIDIA and how NVIDIA can perform this week. We'll also take a look at the economic data and any other events due this week that can impact NVIDIA stock price. I will also discuss my plan of action for this week. Now, let's get started. On Friday, you see that Nvidia closed negative, but no major drop, just 0.0074% down. And if you take a look at the overall movement on Friday, you see lots of volatility, ups and down, no clear direction. So this is in line with my expectation that I shared with you on my Thursday video that I was expecting some sideways movement on Friday. And you see that last week Nvidia was up about 7.75%. And that's a very good positive improvement for Nvidia. And if you take a look for this week, we do not have any major data coming. Monday, nothing much. Tuesday, no data is coming. Wednesday, nothing much. Thursday, we have weekly initial jobless claims, and that could be important somewhat. And Friday, nothing much. So overall, the week is pretty quiet in terms of the economic data. And if you take a look forward P, Nvidia forward P at this point is 43.21. In my opinion, that's not too high or not too low. It's kind of lie in the middle. So still Nvidia has some potential to go further up before the earnings. Because in my opinion, Nvidia should touch the forward P of 50 before the earnings based on the historical data. In previous 2 quarters, Nvidia touched the forward PE of 50. And if you take a look at the candlestick chart for Nvidia on the weekly snapshot, you see that last 3 weeks Nvidia closed positive, all three green candlestick bars. So remember on my Friday last week video on the weekly analysis, I made the prediction that the next week Nvidia should also close positive. So all 3 weeks positive so far. And the next week could be tricky. Nvidia might close as positive, or the chances are it can also close as a negative ending week. We have a strong argument for both cases. Nvidia at this point it still has positive momentum from last week. It might carry the same momentum and lots of excitement regarding the Blackwell chip and any other analysis or the comments from Mr. Jensen Huang comes next week can lift Nvidia shares further. On the other hand, the second possibility, there are some arguments regarding second possibility that Nvidia can go down, and those are that Nvidia already had 3 consecutive positive week, and next week there is no major events for Nvidia at this point. So there is some correction due this week that might impact Nvidia's positive momentum. So Nvidia might close slightly negative this week. So both possibilities exist, but I will go with the possibility number one that I still think Nvidia should close positive this week. Now let's take a look some news regarding Nvidia and try to make some assessment for this week using those data or news. So starting with this one that says Nvidia just made 2 moves that could push its stock to the next level. Let's open it. So it says that new AI model and a strategic partnership with Accenture are aggressive and defensive. So basically it highlights the large language model that Nvidia announced in a strategic partnership with Accenture. Yeah, so large language models are big thing and that can help Nvidia go further up, but we do not know the timeline when that's gonna happen. So that's the only unknown at this point. So now this one that says, can Nvidia have another blowout year in 2025? Let's open it. So they're telling that new ways to learn about financial risk before buying a home, thoughts on the bull market for stocks, and in-depth look at food prices. So the only part that is relevant here in this analysis is this one that says those beats set up increases to consensus earnings estimate for subsequent quarters and entire fiscal years. Although the beats are expected, their flow is important to help support rising shares price over the long term. So basically, they are expecting in the long term, Nvidia shares should go further up because the earning estimate will continue to go up in 2025. Yeah, I think that's so obvious. I don't have any disagreement here. And now this one, and that looks interesting and it makes sense to me. That says Nvidia stock surges as AI dominance fuels long term bull run. So basically, they are trying to say that in the long term, Nvidia is still positive because the AI dominance would further increase in the future. So this means that we can hold Nvidia stock for some time. There are chances in the short term Nvidia can go down, but in the long term, the chances are Nvidia would give us a good return. Now let's take a look this one that says Nvidia stock rises. AMD's new AI chip is not competitive. Barons.com. Let's open it. So as you know that AMD has announced a new artificial intelligence chip here. There are some discussions in the market regarding AMD can give some competition to Nvidia, but this analysis says it should not be the case because it says the move suggests investors are not concerned that AMD's latest data center AI chip threatens Nvidia's leading market share. NVIDIA announced its new Instinct MI325X graphics processing unit. It's a good thing, more and more AI chips are going to enter the market. But in my opinion, yes, it should not be a big threat to NVIDIA from AMD. Now, one price target, and that's from Goldman Sachs, and they maintain the buy on NVIDIA raises price target to 150. So in my opinion, also 150 is achievable in this quarter, as I shared my analysis probably yesterday. So overall, the news are positive regarding Nvidia. So next week, probably Nvidia should maintain its upward momentum, looks like. But at the same time, some correction is due because 3 consecutive positive week for Nvidia. So if you take a look, the cumulative percentage change, Nvidia is up about 15%, and that's not much for Nvidia. We still have 5 more weeks to go. So in next 5 weeks, there is a possibility that Nvidia can make another 15% upside, and that's completely achievable for Nvidia. So for this week, my plan of action is if Nvidia takes a little dip, I will buy more Nvidia shares. But if Nvidia continues to go up, I'll keep holding my Nvidia stocks. So at this point, I am in a win win situation just like you guys. Hope for the best for this week. And that's all about my weekly analysis and assessment. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.